Dear viewers and followers, welcome back. Other in educational and training lessons for Ameen software for accounting and warehouses. The title of this lesson is The Entry of Invoices. Purchase invoices. Sales, purchase returns, sales returns. If we go to the Bills menu, we will notice that there is Basic Invoices type, which were created by the software when the file was created. And it is Purchasing and Sales, Purchase Returns, Sales Returns. If we want to add a purchase invoice, we will go to Invoice menu, then Purchases. We will notice that this bill consists of 3 sections. The first section is about invoice title from customer name and date, payment method and warehouse, which will be transferring quantities to it. Of course, with the payment method, cash or credit. The second section, specific to the items, their quantities and prices, where items are listed in a purchase invoice in this section, with their quantities and prices, of course. The last section is for any discounts or additions to this invoice. If there is a discount on the bill or any additional expenses, this invoice will be for. Register it in this section to affect the cost of items on the invoice. Of course, we will start with the customer's name first, where it can be searched by name, for example. It should be noted that search field options can be changed. I have previously enabled some options, and we will see how we can change them now. If we want to change the search field options, by going to the Tools menu, and then press Options. In the options, it will show us options, including search. If we press on Search, we will notice that some search fields are enabled automatically, and we can change the available search fields. While searching for items or warehouses, even searching for customers and suppliers. For example, in the materials, I enabled the code, Arabic and Latin name, barcode and group. Also, the unit can be shown. It can also show the quantities available in the warehouse or some previously recorded prices or some other details. Also, some options can be enabled while searching for customers or suppliers. For example, the customer's name can be activated, or Latin name, phone number and mobile. And more other fields are available. Then you can press the OK button. Now back to the bill. And during the search about the client, we note that the fields have been added. It was previously activated in the search options. For example, choose supplier number 1. You must also choose the invoice currency. We will notice a lesson will be allocated later how add other currencies to the program. We will choose the invoice date where the date can be written. Or you can use the calendar icon to select the invoice date. You must also choose the warehouse that will be used to post the quantities of materials recorded in the invoice to it. Of course, I have not added any store yet. You can add a store by going to Materials menu. We will notice that there is an option which is Warehouse Card. While pressing it, what is required to add a new store is the code for this store and the name of the warehouse. Of course, you can write his name in Arabic and Latin. You can also customize a main warehouse and then add sub-warehouse within this warehouse. For example, we will now, by adding main warehouse. And then we will add sub-warehouses. Within this warehouses, we will write the name of the warehouses, and then Latin name and main warehouse. It can be searched by typing the warehouse code or name, or using the search icon. Available. For example, we will add another sub-warehouse from within the main warehouse. Now, if we go back again to Purchase Invoice, warehouse can be selected either using the code, or as it became known. You can search by warehouse name, or also as we said, it can search by available search icon. This is the first section of the invoice. You can also add any notes, e.g., purchase order number. These notes will appear on the statement and appear in reports. The second section is for materials. The search will be done as we mentioned before by item code or name or any other field. It has been activated in the search fields. Back to the materials chart, which was added previously, or imported from an Excel file. Note that it can, while entering any invoice, go to any other option without having to close this window. Only, can minimize this window to go to any other menu, such as reports or program options, or enter other invoices as well, without having to close input window. This saves time and effort on data entry. We will now search for the material name and select the items. You can select more than one item. You can also search by item code, or via the item's barcode. We will enter example quantities for these items. It should be noted that the unit can be changed. For example, 50 boxes were purchased instead. 50 pieces, according to the units previously registered, with each item of the items. Then we will record purchase price based on the unit entered in the invoice, such as the price of one box. It should also be noted that you can right-click on the price field while entering the invoice to show some additional details about the material. For example, the last purchase price and the average price, wholesale price, or any additional prices. Now, we've added some prices, for example. We note that the total invoice value will appear. End net bill. It should be noted that the tax system will be discussed later. After the items, quantities and prices have been recorded, we will go to the last section. It is the section of additions and discounts. For example, if there is any discount on the invoice, it can be added as a percentage or a value. When recording the value or percentage of the discount, the net bill value will change to deduct the value of this discount. Also, if there are any additional expenses, they are related to this invoice, as transportation expenses for purchases or customs expenses or shipping costs can also be added. In the Actions section, it can be a percentage or a value. It should also be noted that it can be recorded. This charge is in a currency other than the base invoice currency. It should also be noted that there is the contra account. What is meant by it? It is the credit account that will be met this expense. For example, if you paid this expense paid through the cash, select the cash as a contra account. Or you can choose an account for another supplier or any other credit account for this expense. It should also be noted that there are some additional fields. If we press the More button, note that there is some additional information, as the first payment or other additional fields. After recording all information and checking the data, we have to press the Add button, then Save, to add this invoice. It should be noted that it has been transferred the invoice directly to the warehouses. This depends on the invoice features, which we will talk about in detail in another lesson. It should also be noted that it was posted to the accounts. For example, it was posted to the supplier's ledger. In the same way, sales invoices can be entered by going to the Invoice menu, then Sales. The invoice can be added in the same way as the purchase invoice was added. All we have to do is choosing the client name as we mentioned before. You can search by name, or you can search by phone number or any of the fields that have been enabled in the search field options. Payment method must be selected with invoice date. Also the store that will be. Deduct the quantities from it. Then choose the items. And recording quantities. A piece or a box. Of course, it can be noted that the barcode reader can be used while searching for items on the invoice. It should be known that here too it is possible. Show a window we call the information window. It is from the Windows menu. Then the information window. This window can be used to display information directly and quickly about the field which is being pressed. For example, if we click on the customer's name, we will notice information about customer, like balance, for example. When you click on the item, we will notice that the quantities available in the warehouses will appear, average price, and some details of the item selected. Also, you can right-click on the place of the price field will appear after that. Quick information about prices as of last purchase, average. Then enter the quantities with the correct unit such as piece or box. You can also right-click on the unit price. Select available prices for all items listed on the invoice. Discounts and additions can also be recorded on the invoice. You can click on the More button to add some other additional fields. Then click the Add button and save to save the invoice. After saving, the quantities of materials in the invoice will be deducted from the specified warehouse and posted to the accounts. Wait for the second part of the lesson on invoices, in which we will talk about the properties of invoices that can be changed to benefit more from the software's features. Again, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Share it with your friends to spread the benefit.